Joseph Paintsill paid the debt that Edwin Surreal gave the Galaxy. And the Galaxy opened the 2026 season with an unsettling 1-1 draw against Sporting San Miguelito in the first round of CONCACAF Champions Cup on Thursday. Hi, I'm James of Faithful Angelino Sports with a rapid recap of LA Galaxy soccer. If you enjoy talking about the six-time MLS Cup champions, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk Galaxy soccer regularly here. Paintsill took a pass in the penalty area from Joao Klaus and converted for the tying goal in the 68th minute to quell the social media mob, of which I'm a member, from demanding that Surreal and manager Greg Vanney swim home from Central America. Now, the Galaxy will return from Panama to play 2 home matches in the next week, including the second leg of this first round Wednesday night. Put simply, Galaxy win, they move on. And by the way, those upcoming matches do matter because there were 2 mantras repeated often during the match. One, that the Galaxy would open the season with 4 matches in 10 days. The other, that this was the biggest match in club history for Sporting SM. Now, if you take a moment and look at the bigger picture, you can see how both teams played accordingly in this match. For example, the Galaxy played second stringers in vital attacking roles. Instead of their starters, you saw Christian Ramirez and Mateus Nascimento. Also, on the other side, Sporting approached the match with a tight defensive shell because they knew that they were overmatched in terms of talent. Meanwhile, the Galaxy offense, as a result, seemed to be limited in the first half. They basically had 2 options on offense. It was either Joseph Paintsill trying to burst past the defense with speed on the left-hand side, Mauricio Cuevas on the right, trying to launch crossing passes into the box, trying to find anybody wearing white in the middle. As a result, when you look at the statistics, the Galaxy dominated. 18 shots to 4, for example. 8 corner kicks. You could easily argue that the Galaxy would have scored way more than 1 had Klaus and Marco Reus started the match. But they didn't. Why? Because, to repeat, again, the Galaxy have 4 matches in 10 days. Now, as for Sporting, when you play so compact, you're hoping to try to get one offensive moment and make it stand up. And this is where the Galaxy opened 2026 looking way too much like the 2025 club that conceded the most goals in MLS. In the 37th minute, Angel Valencia looped a pass, crossed the pitch, that just appeared to mesmerize Surreal, looking on it as if it were a shooting star across the sky, instead of marking his man. And by the way, when that lovely pass floated to Rodrigo Tello, Surreal may have been a good 10 yards away by that point. Tello, meanwhile, left unmarked, headed an ideal strike into the back of the net. So look, you could say it's just one match. You could say miscommunications happen at the start of the season. I hear you on that. But that goal looked way too familiar to shake it off as no big deal. The Galaxy made a series of changes to its roster, particularly to its back line during the offseason. The newbies that were in the back, they played well. They were stout. They were strong. But they also didn't have stiff competition in Sporting. And that's what makes Surreal's gaffe so alarming. It was a lapse in judgment from a returning player who knows how much effort this club put into bolstering its defense, who knows exactly what Greg Vanney wants him to do on defense, and yet he just fell asleep and watched. A lapse in judgment that occurred on a match-by-match basis last year. And by the way, also the fact that it's just makes your blood pressure spike. You can't afford that many mistakes because 2 years ago you could. You had Ricky Puig running an offense that was dropping 3-4 goals a match. You don't have him again for a second consecutive year as he waits for his knee to heal. You can't afford lapses like that, particularly to teams that you clearly have an outrageous talent advantage over. But to Vanny's credit, when he subbed in Klaus, when he subbed in Royce and pulled Nascimento and Ramirez, all of a sudden that tight shell from Sporting became vulnerable because the two incoming Germans have elite skill. And as a result, you have to mark them closer. You might even have to double team them. And that provided gaps which the Galaxy finally got a chance to exploit. Multiple Sporting players were drawn to Klaus. That left Paintsill unmarked. Near the penalty spot, for Pete's sakes. The dude had enough time not only to take the pass from Klaus, but to settle the ball and then shoot. Never would have happened in the first half with that lineup. As for the Galaxy, yeah, they'll play Sporting again on Wednesday, but they will play New York City FC in the MLS regular season opener at the Dignity L Sports Park at 4 p.m. Sunday. So once again, your final score: Galaxy 1, Sporting San Miguelito 1. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelinos. We talk LA sports and Galaxy soccer every single day, sometimes even when I'm sober. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow morning. Faithful Angelinos is a Cortel Queso production. Take care.